What's going on, guys? So listen, it's Wednesday. I'm about to crush some deadlifts, high reps for hypertrophy. But before I get started, I want to talk about something. Less than 3 weeks ago, I hurt my back. I had a bulging disc. And like I said, now this is less than 3 weeks ago, I'm ready to get back to a monster deadlift session. I want to talk about this because in the past, this would have never happened. In the past, I would have took like 2 weeks off minimum. And there was no way I would have been back to deadlifting heavy for at least probably 6 weeks. So I want to talk about what I did where I was able to heal my back. All right, so first of all, let's talk about what happened. Well, first of all, we got to go all the way back to about 10 years ago when I first injured my back and I first had this bulging disc. I was deadlifting. I was doing touch and go reps with 455 for sets of fives. Now, I'm not going to say it was because it was touch and go reps, even though I know a lot of people say those are dangerous. I don't know what it was. I'm not going to say my form was bad. I really don't know. I just know that I felt something funny, and the next day I could barely walk. My back was so tight. I had this sharp shooting pain going in my sciatic nerve all the way down my leg. Felt like I was being stabbed with a railroad spike in back of my left knee, shooting all the way down to my foot. After that, man, I didn't deadlift for years. I was just like, man, it's not worth it. Too high risk, and I wasn't even interested in powerlifting. I was just interested in lifting. Years after that, I started getting back to deadlifting. I started saying, I'm just going to do reps. I started going just up to 405, so I'm just going to do reps with this. Anyways, when I got back serious into lifting, I decided, forget that. I'm going to deadlift. I'm just going to deadlift with good form. But this has always been a little bit of an issue, that bulging disc down by, I think it's like L5S1 on the left side. So anyways, every now and then, it will start bothering me again. It'll start getting aggravated, irritated. Now, what led up to it bothering me just 3 weeks ago, or less than 3 weeks ago? I have been doing a lot of, you guys see me, I was doing a lot of high rep, high bar. The problem is I was keeping my hands way out by the collars because I got poor shoulder mobility. Now, I wasn't able to really retract and depress my scapula and really lock down my thoracic spine, my upper back, and really set that back. I was kind of loose at the top. It's hard when your elbows are up to depress your scapula. So at the bottom in the hole, since my upper back was loose, it was causing me to get a little bit of butt wink. And every time I get a little bit of butt wink, my back would get fatigued with the high reps, and the first thing I would give out while squatting would be the lower back. My lower back I never would get a pump in my legs when doing high reps. I'd always get a fatigued lower back. My lower back would end up tightening up really bad. So that was always the limiting factor on squats. Just a few weeks ago, right before this injury, I started realizing, I gotta really get that extension in my T-spine, pull my hands in as much as I could. So I started warming up my shoulders a lot, and that allowed me to do that. And my back stopped bothering me because of that afterwards. But I already had fatigued my back so much over the past couple months of doing all this high repetition with a loose back and getting that butt wink, that my back was tight. I went into the last deadlift session that I recorded, and the next day I was sore. The day after that, I woke up on Friday. I was still tight in my lower back, and I was supposed to do a squat session and then follow that up with some leg presses. I said to myself, I really don't know if I can load my spine up with that weight to do these high rep squats. I said, what I'm going to do? I'm going to pre-fatigue the legs, and I'm going to do it in reverse order. I'm going to do leg presses first, pre-fatigue the leg muscles, and then do the squats, so I won't have to do as much weight. I think I should be able to handle that. But, lo and behold, I couldn't even handle that. I went in, I put one plate on the leg press. Did that for 20 just to loosen up. Put 2 plates on the leg press, which is still nothing. It's a leg press. You could load that thing up with like 8 plates, right? I put 2 plates on the leg press. By the time I got to like my 12th rep, I had a lower back spasm. My back just it spasmed, and it went into complete flexion in my lower back. My legs gave out on me, and the weight just came right down on me. Now, luckily, it's only 2 plates, so that's really nothing. I locked it out, racked it, whatever you want to say with the leg press. My lower back, man, I started sweating. My lower back, I was so hurt. I couldn't even take my feet off the leg press. And it was a combination of being nervous to even move and my lower back tensing up so bad. I just kept my feet on the foot plate, and I just kept them there for about probably 8 minutes. Then I finally built up the courage to take my feet off. I put them on the ground, and I just sat there. I couldn't stand. My back was so tight. Finally, after a few more minutes, I grabbed something. I got myself up. My back was hurting so bad, I couldn't even take those 2 plates off of the leg press. I had to ask the guy behind the counter to take the plates off for me. It took me about 10 minutes to walk to my car. Now, this is what I did differently this time. In the past, I would have just took 2 weeks off minimum. I would have just laid on the couch, did nothing. I watched a video by Alan Thrall where he injured his back, and he was saying how he just got back to moving immediately. As soon as he hurt his back deadlifting, he started doing air deadlifts right there on the spot. It was Austin Baraki, who's a medical doctor, who was coaching him. He said, do some air squats, do this, do that, had him moving around. It's like that saying they have motion is lotion, right? We want to get that synovial fluid going. Sitting back doing nothing is not going to help us. So on Monday morning, I got back into the gym. My back was still very tight, and it was still that sciatic, around that sciatic nerve around my L5, S1. I still could feel that bulging disc. It was bothering me. But I said, I'm just going to do what I can. I did some Romanian deadlifts with just 95 pounds. I did some goblet squats, and I built it up to 55 pounds. And it was tough. Just a 55-pound kettlebell. It was tough. Then I was doing like sets of 8s, and that was tough. And then on Wednesday, I got back, and I was just doing what I could. By Friday, a week later, I was already squatting 225. And here's the thing that helped the most. So not just moving around, the reverse hyper. Now, I know this is such a, what do you want to say, pivotal thing where people, on one side or the other, they love it or they hate it. And me, I come from like the evidence-based side, and I see people like Stuart McGill, who's like the most highly respected back specialist, and people like Chris Dove doing interviews with him saying the reverse hyper is garbage, stay away from it, it'll mess your back up. So I wanted to believe that. I wanted to believe these guys, but man, I was desperate. In the past, I would never went near it because of the things these guys say, but I see so much anecdotal evidence. All these people saying the reverse hyper helped them. So I got at it. I got on it. I started messing with the reverse hyper every day. And let me tell you something. Brian Carroll said that every time he did, he felt good, but later on, he'd feel worse. It was the complete opposite for me. When I would get on it, I'd feel that decompression of my lower spine, and I'd feel it in that area around that nerve. And it would make me nervous because I'm feeling it there. I'm feeling a little pain there. But afterwards, and for the next day, I feel so much better. Every time I did it, I felt like I was healing. And I don't want to. I'm not some West Side guy. I never trained West Side. I'm a Chad Wesley Smith guy who's a notorious West Side hater. But let me tell you something. This thing helped a lot. A week later, I was back there squatting 225 with no pain at all. Last Wednesday, I went up. I deadlifted up to 395. I forget how many reps I did. I did like, I think around 40 reps or something. No pain at all. Last Friday, I squatted, so it was 2 weeks after the injury, I squatted 225 for a total of 50 reps. No pain at all. And on Monday, I squatted 240 for high bar, pause rep squats, A to G for a total of 60 reps, no pain at all. And today, I'm going for 430 pounds on deadlift for 8 reps for one set of 8, which will be a rep PR for me. All right, this video is getting long, so I'm just going to put in the first set of deadlifts, so see how it goes. Man, that was a letdown. 6 reps, and I knew I had 8 in me. If I would have got 6 and that was the most I could get, I would have took it. But that, man, I'm telling you, that was an RPE 8, and I was supposed to go for an RPE 10. I knew I had that 430 for 8. But man, my grip, I never had that problem. I always train at home with the rogue deadlift bar. This is also a rogue deadlift bar, but the knurl just is not the same. I don't know if you guys can see it's a lot smoother. The knurling on my bare steel bar is a lot more aggressive. Whatever, no excuses. I'll take it. I'm happy because my back feels fine. Like I said, less than 3 weeks out from a bulging disc. All right, now it's going to be 5 sets of 8 with 385. Volume, volume, volume. Hypertrophy block. Building muscle and moving forward. Next competition coming up in April. Stay tuned.